Good morning. I've been gone a long time, but I'm back now. And so we will begin again. I've been on a sojourn in the desert, praying with a lot of people, which has been really nice for a few months. So this morning, I think I'm going to read some prayers that I don't usually do. And they're in the back of this book, Spiritual Strength for Men. And there's some special tablets. And by the way, please let me know if you can hear me okay, because I'm trying this headset, and last I knew it was intermittent, so I don't really know if it's working. But let's find out. I think I'm going to start with this tablet on purity. Let's see who wrote it. It's in the back of this little book here. It was written by Bahá'u'lláh. Here we go. It starts with this short little passage. In every aspect of life, purity and holiness, cleanliness and refinement exalt the human condition. Bahá'u'lláh. So here is the tablet. Sorry about that. O friends of the pure and omnipotent God, to be pure and holy in all things is an attribute of the consecrated soul and a necessary characteristic of the unenslaved mind. The best of perfections is immaculacy and the freeing of oneself from every defect. Once the individual is in every respect cleansed and purified, then will he become a focal center, reflecting the manifest light. First, in a human being's way of life must be purity, then freshness, cleanliness, and independence of spirit. First must the stream bed be cleansed. Then may the sweet river waters be led unto it. Chaste eyes enjoy the beatific vision of the Lord, and know what this encounter meaneth. A pure sense inhaleth the fragrances that blow from the rose gardens of his grace. A burnished heart will mirror forth the comely face of truth. This is why in holy scriptures the counsels of heaven are likened to water, even as the Quran saith, and pure water send we down from heaven. And the gospel, except a man be baptized of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God. Thus it is clear that the teachings which come from God are heavenly outpourings of grace. They are rain showers of divine mercy, and they cleanse the human heart. My meaning is this, that in every aspect of life, purity and holiness, cleanliness and refinement exalt the human condition and further the development of man's inner reality. Even in the physical realm, cleanliness will conduce to spirituality, as the holy writings clearly state. And although bodily cleanliness is a physical thing, it hath nevertheless a powerful influence on the life of the spirit. It is even as a voice wondrously sweet, or a melody played. Although sounds are but vibrations in the air, which affect the ear's auditory nerve, and these vibrations are but chance phenomena carried along through the air, even so, see how they move the heart. A wondrous melody is wings for the spirit, and maketh the soul to tremble for joy. The purport is that physical cleanliness doth also exert its effect upon the human soul. Observe how pleasing is cleanliness in the sight of God, and how specifically it is emphasized in the holy books of the prophets, for the scriptures forbid the eating or the use of any unclean thing. Some of these prohibitions were absolute and binding upon all. And whoso transgressed the given law was abhorred of God and anathematized by the believers. Such, for example, were things categorically forbidden, the perpetration of which was accounted a most grievous sin. Among them actions so loathsome that it is shameful even to speak their name. But there are other forbidden things which do not cause immediate harm, and the injurious effects of which are only gradually produced. Such acts are also repugnant to the Lord, and blameworthy in his sight, and repellent. The absolute unlawfulness of these, however, hath not been expressly set forth in the text. But their avoidance is necessary to purity, cleanliness, the preservation of health, and freedom from addiction. Among these latter is smoking tobacco, which is dirty, smelly, offensive, an evil habit, and the harmfulness of which gradually becometh apparent to all. Every qualified physician hath ruled, and this hath also been proven by tests, that one of the components of tobacco is a deadly poison, and that the smoker is vulnerable to many and various diseases. This is why smoking hath been plainly set forth as repugnant from the standpoint of hygiene. The Bab, at the outset of his mission, explicitly prohibited tobacco, and the Friends, one and all, abandoned its use. But since those were times when dissimulation was permitted, and every individual who abstained from smoking was exposed to harassment, abuse, and even death, the Friends, in order not to advertise their beliefs, would smoke. Later on, the Book of Akdas was revealed, and since smoking tobacco was not specifically forbidden there, the believers did not give it up. The Blessed Beauty, however, always expressed repugnance for it. And although in the early days there were reasons why he would smoke a little tobacco, In time, he completely renounced it. And those sanctified souls who followed him in all things also abandoned its use. My meaning is that in the sight of God, smoking tobacco is deprecated, abhorrent, filthy in the extreme, and albeit by degrees, highly injurious to health. It is also a waste of money and time, and maketh the user a prey to a noxious addiction. To those who stand firm in the covenant, this habit is therefore censored, both by reason and experience, and renouncing it will bring relief and peace of mind to all men. Furthermore, this will make it possible to have a fresh mouth and unstained fingers, and hair that is free of a foul and repellent smell. On receipt of this missive, the friends will surely, by whatever means and even over a period of time, forsake this pernicious habit. Such is my hope. As to opium, it is foul and accursed. God protect us from the punishment he inflicteth on the user. According to the explicit text of the most holy book, it is forbidden, and its use is utterly condemned. Reason showeth that smoking opium is a kind of insanity, and experience attesteth that the user is completely cut off from the human kingdom. May God protect all against the perpetration of an act so hideous as this, an act which layeth in ruins the very foundation of what it is to be human, and which causeth the user to be dispossessed forever and ever. For opium fasteneth on the soul, so that the user's conscience dieth. His mind is blotted away. His perceptions are eroded. It turneth the living into the dead. It quencheth the natural heat. No greater harm can be conceived than that which opium inflicteth. Fortunate are they who never even speak the name of it. Then think how wretched is the user. O ye lovers of God, in this the cycle of Almighty God, violence and force, constraint and oppression are one and all condemned. It is, however, mandatory that the use of opium be prevented by any means whatsoever, that perchance the human race may be delivered from this most powerful of plagues, and otherwise woe and misery to whoso falleth short of his duty to his Lord. O divine providence, bestow thou in all things purity and cleanliness upon the people of Baha. Grant that they be freed from all defilement and released from all addictions. Save them from committing any repugnant act. Unbind them from the chains of every evil habit, that they may live pure and free, wholesome and cleanly, worthy to serve at thy sacred threshold, and fit to be related to their Lord. Deliver them from intoxicating drinks and tobacco. Save them, rescue them from this opium that bringeth on madness. Suffer them to enjoy the sweet savors of holiness, that they may drink deep of the mystic cup of heavenly love, and know the rapture of being drawn ever closer unto the realm of the all-glorious. For it is even as thou hast said, all that thou hast in thy cellar will not appease the thirst of my love. Bring me, O cupbearer of the wine of the Spirit, a cup full as the sea. O ye, God's loved ones, experience hath shown how greatly the renouncing of smoking, of intoxicating drink, of opium, conduceth to health and vigor, to the expansion and keenness of the mind, and to bodily strength. There is today a people, the Sikhs of India, who strictly avoid tobacco, intoxicating liquor, and opium. This people is far and away superior to the others, for strength and physical courage, for health, beauty, and comeliness. A single one of their men can stand up to 10 men of another tribe. This hath proved true of the entire people, that is, member for member. Each individual of this community is in every respect superior to the individuals of other communities. Make ye then a mighty effort, that the purity and sanctity which above all else are cherished by Abdu'l-Baha shall distinguish the people of Baha, that in every kind of excellence the people of God shall surpass all other human beings, that both outwardly and inwardly they shall prove superior to the rest, that for purity, immaculacy, refinement, and the preservation of health they shall be leaders in the vanguard of those who know, and that by their freedom from enslavement, their knowledge, their self-control, they shall be first among the pure, the free, and the wise. And that was from Abdu'l-Baha. Wow, it's so good. It's a turmeric blend. It's really good. Here from Bahá'u'lláh is the tablet of the hair. He is the Almighty. My hair is my messenger. It is calling aloud at all times upon the branch of fire within the hallowed and luminous garden of paradise, that perchance the inmates of the realm of creation may detach themselves from the world of dust and ascend unto the retreats of nearness, the spot where the fire seeketh illumination from the light of the countenance of God, the glorious, the powerful. O ye that have consecrated yourselves to this fire, sing ye melodies, pour out sweet tones, rejoice with exceeding gladness, and make haste to attain the presence of him who is the object of adoration, bearing witness that no God is there besides God, the all-knowing, the all-wise, the all-compelling. He is the God of wisdom. My hair is my phoenix. Therefore hath it set itself upon the blazing fire of my face, and receiveth sustenance from the garden of my countenance. This is the station wherein Moses, the son of Imran, removed from the feet of selfish desire the coverings of the attachment to all else but him, and was illumined by the splendors of the light of holiness, in the undying fire kindled by God, the potent, the gracious, the ever-forgiving. He is the most excellent, the best beloved. A lock of my hair is my cord. He who layeth fast hold on it shall never to all eternity go astray. For therein is his guidance to the splendors of the light of his beauty. He is God. My hair is my veil, whereby I conceal my beauty, that haply the eyes of the non-believers among my servants may not fall upon it. Thus do we conceal from the sight of the ungodly the glorious and sublime beauty of our countenance. He is the eternal. My hair beareth witness for my beauty, that verily I am God, and that there is none other God but me. In my ancient eternity, I have ever been God, the one, the peerless, the everlasting, the ever-living, the ever-abiding, the self-subsistent. O denizens of the everlasting realm, let your ears be attentive to the stirrings of this restless and agitated hair, as it moveth upon the Sinai of fire within the precincts of light, the celestial seat of divine revelation. Indeed, there is no God besides me. In my most ancient pre-existence, I have ever been the King, the sovereign, the incomparable, the eternal, the single, the everlasting, the most exalted. O peoples of the heavens and of the earth, were ye to sanctify your ears, ye would hear my hair proclaim that there is none other God except him, and that he is one in his essence, and in everything that beareth relationship unto him. And yet, how fiercely have ye cavilled at this beauty, notwithstanding that the outpourings of his grace have encompassed all that dwell in the billowing oceans of his revelation and creation. Be fair, therefore, in your judgment concerning his upright religion, for the love of this youth who is riding high upon the snow-white she-camel betwixt earth and heaven, and be ye firm and steadfast in the path of truth. Let's bow. Prayer for America. O thou kind Lord, this gathering is turning to thee. These hearts are radiant with thy love. These minds and spirits are exhilarated by the message of thy glad tidings. O God, let this American democracy become glorious in spiritual degrees, even as it has aspired to material degrees. and render this just government victorious. Confirm this revered nation to upraise the standard of the oneness of humanity, to promulgate the most great peace, to become thereby most glorious and praiseworthy among all the nations of the world. O God, this American nation is worthy of thy favors and deserving of thy mercy. Make it precious and near to thee through thy bounty and bestow. Abdu'l-Baha. O thou kind Lord, these lovely children are the handiwork of the fingers of thy might and the wondrous signs of thy greatness. O God, protect these children. Graciously assist them to be educated and enable them to render service to the world of humanity. O God, these children are pearls. Cause them to be nurtured within the shell of thy loving kindness. Thou art the bountiful, the all-loving. Prayer for the departed. Glory be to thee, O Lord my God. Abase not him whom thou hast exalted, through the power of thine everlasting sovereignty. And remove not far from thee him whom thou hast caused to enter the tabernacle of thine eternity. Wilt thou cast away, O my God, him whom thou hast overshadowed with thy lordship? And wilt thou turn away from thee, O my desire, him to whom thou hast been a refuge? Canst thou degrade him whom thou hast uplifted? Or forget him whom thou didst enable to remember thee? Glorified, immensely glorified art thou. Thou art he who from everlasting hath been the king of the entire creation and its prime mover. And thou wilt to everlasting remain the Lord of all created things and their ordainer. Glorified art thou, O my God, if thou ceasest to be merciful unto thy servants. Who then will show mercy unto them? And if thou refusest to succor thy loved ones, who is there that can succor them? Glorified, immeasurably glorified art thou. Thou art adored in thy truth, and thee do we all verily worship, and thou art manifest in thy justice, and to thee do we all verily bear witness. Thou art in truth beloved in thy grace. No God is there but thee, the help in peril, the self-subsisting. So good. It's turmeric. It's a turmeric drink. Lauded be thy name, O my God. I entreat thee by the fragrances of the raiment of thy grace, which at thy bidding and in conformity with thy desire were diffused throughout the entire creation, and by the day star of thy will that hath shone brightly through the power of thy might and of thy sovereignty above the horizon of thy mercy, to blot out from my heart all idle fancies and vain imaginings, that with all my affections I may turn unto thee, O thou Lord of all mankind. I am thy servant and the son of thy servant, O my God. I have laid hold on the handle of thy grace and clung to the cord of thy tender mercy. Ordain for me the good things that are with thee, and nourish me from the table thou didst send down out of the clouds of thy bounty in the heaven of thy favor. Thou art in very truth the Lord of all worlds, and the God of all that are in heaven, all that are on earth. Say, God sufficeth all things, above all things. And nothing in the heavens or in the earth but God sufficeth. Verily he is in himself the knower, the sustainer, the omnipotent. That concludes this morning's prayers and readings. Thank you for joining.